For generations, we have been striking up conversations and bowling pins at the Wascana Rehabilitation Center.
We began bowling in late '59 and early '60s in what was then an old gym, which has since been demolished and a new building put on its site. But we used to have to put out the wooden planks and build the facility to have bowling before we could utilize it. Now in those days, if we had 6 to 10 people out, that would be about all we could handle on a night of about 2 hours work, you know. And we got the satisfaction of seeing a lot of people who are here at the hospital, of doing a lot of physical exercise and enjoying what they were doing. And you could see the improvement in their mobility and things like that, just from getting involved in the physical activity. In the middle of the '60s, we got into a new part of the hospital here, and we built 2 official bowling alleys that were hardwood floors and with all the latest equipment, you know, that you require for a real bit of bowling. And in those days, we would bring the people downstairs, and this was in the gymnasium also, but a new gymnasium. And we would have 25 to 28 people out for bowling constantly. And it was quite competitive in those days, you know, because it was like being at a real bowling alley. And we kept track of everybody and their scores, and we handed out little prizes for the top 6 or 8, and there were big cheers and a lot of hullabaloo, and people would say, well, the next time they'd be the winner. And it was quite interesting to see the competitive spirit that there was among the people who came down to bowl, you know. And we in those days, we didn't have as many motorized chairs, wheelchairs, and so we brought the people down manually and took them back to their ward when it was all over. It was a very satisfying enterprise for us who took part. And I remember one young fellow that was about 12 years of age, and he lost both legs crawling under a freight car when he came away from the old football stadium. And the freight car'd been there for a long time, and everybody assumed it wasn't going to move, and he crawled across the track just when the freight train connected, and it ran over both his legs. And you know, and I thought how ironic it was. I was probably 45 years of age at that stage, and here I was pushing this boy of 12 years of age around the hospital, and how it didn't seem very fair. Now I'm much beyond that. I'm in my 90s, but I still enjoy coming out for the bowling and participating in the affairs of Kiwanis. When we started, there were 3 of us, Dr. Boland, Carl Boland, Andy Roush, and myself. We had bowled on our own in other leagues. I was in the Motor Club League at the time, and I thought it would be a good bit of exercise, and it would give the people something to do besides watching TV. And it has gone on now since the very early '60s or late '50s, actually. So it's gone on almost as much as I've been around, you know. So we have an inclined plane that was fabricated by a machinist, which are 2 steel bars, and it drops down just like a modest waterfall, and then gets onto the runway. And now, unfortunately, we have lost the 2 bowling alleys because the health authorities needed the room in the gym, and so we set up on the terrazzo floor in the big hall. The people are still enjoying it, although it is not quite as realistic as when we had the wooden bowling alleys, you know. But we have our old diehards who come out regularly. Some are able to come with their motorized chairs, and some we come and get them and take them back to their ward after the evening's excitement, you know. But for me, it's a real satisfying thing. I've been at it since it began, and I hope I'll survive long enough to see it continue and maybe get back to an official bowling alley that the Kiwanis would be happy to continue to be involved with. I think one of the great things is that over the years, we get to know their names and they get to know who we are, and they feel a kinship. Although they're disabled, they feel like they're part of the crowd still, you know, and they like to come out and we converse and socialize with them as we take them up and down and while they're bowling. And it's a great opportunity for them to get to meet the people from the outside and to know that they're not isolated here and out of contact with rank and file of the people in the community.
Life is bigger than just one, but one can make a difference.